You know how some carriers give you so little for your older busted phone you just end up living with it? I don't think so. Verizon lets you trade in your broken phone for a shiny new one. You break it, we upgrade it.
You dunk it, doggy bone it.
Slam it, wham it, strawberry jam it, we upgrade it.
Get a 5G phone on us with select plans.
Every customer, current, new, or business.
Because everyone deserves better.
And with plans starting at just $35, better costs less than you think.
All right, folks, every Wednesday here on Roland Martin Unfiltered, we always talk about African Americans and their work in technology. And so we got a pretty interesting couple of guys joining us today. A ShearShare app. It's all about making it flexible for you to be able to get your hair cut. Now we all know you can't stay and sitting in the booth for so long. But what happens if you're a barber, but you know what? You're not trying to have one location and you can't afford to do so. And so what about booth rentals? Well, guess what? Stylists can use the space for ever how many days they need without being tied down to monthly or weekly booth rent. The app launched in 2017 is in more than 800 cities. Joining us right now, the co-founders, husband and wife, Dr. Tye and Courtney Caldwell. How y'all doing?
How you doing, Roland?
Hey, Roland. So happy to be here.
So basically, are y'all the WeWork for barbers and stylists?
Well, I love that. You know, people have actually nicknamed us Hair B&B, and so we prefer them.
Okay, all right, Hair B&B, I like that. That's a good one. I mean, this is look. My barber Dave in D.C. Him and his wife, they had a shop for a very long time, and then finally, when the pandemic hit, Dave was like, forget that, got rid of his shop, and he started just doing house calls because he said it didn't make sense, me paying that monthly rent locked into a lease. He said where my customers are far more transient, and it's just easier for me if I have, a regular set. I could just go to them or being able to utilize a location that y'all are able to provide.
That's right. I mean, it's that simple. People use us, and when I say people, that's hairstylists, that's barbers, that's nail technicians, that's makeup artists, that's braiders, that's estheticians, microblading artists. They all use the ShearShare app to be able to access affordable, flexible space to work when and where they need it. They are tired of having to be locked into those long-term contracts, as you mentioned. And especially in a post-pandemic environment right now, people want to be and continue to be transient. They want to go where their clients are, and they want to keep more of their hard-earned money. So at the end of the day, ShearShare connects salon and barbershop owners to individual stylists to fill their empty salon space on demand.
And it's so unfortunate, Roland, and we can say this, that a lot of shops did have to close down. Yeah. And it was really at that time during COVID that a lot of barbers and stylists had to go to their respective clients' homes. Well, at that time, that's all they could do. Everything was shut down. And we know that California and New York was shut down longer. So we've realized that a lot of the times that when situations like this happen, this new normal what it was. But we also realized during the COVID there was cabin fever. So we know that a lot of those customers wanted to get back to the shop. They wanted to put on clothes. They wanted to go somewhere and stop using their faucets in their bathroom as in their kitchen. And so we realized that at the end of the day, they want to get back to the place that they were classically trained. Right. Being in this industry for almost 30 years like myself and being a salon and barbershop owner for over 2 decades, I realized the importance of being in a place where I'm classically trained, where I have the right lighting, I have a swivel chair, I have my barber chair, I have my mirror. That mirror, believe it or not, is better than your eyesight when it comes to really getting that cut fresh the way we want to give it. But also just being around just our family, like-minded individuals that we can constantly learn from and continue to be around. But it gives us the opportunity to get back to doing what we really, really love to do. And I'm just glad that, we had a problem within ourselves to try to solve this for the rest of the industry, because we know that high level wise, space to rent is probably one of the highest cash burns in their spend. So we wanted to make it just super easy to where wasn't locked down. And we also realized 3 to 4 days is really that sweet spot that, licensed beauty and barbering professionals work. Yeah. And so you have that extra 3 or 4 days is just lying dormant. So we wanted to give them opportunity to not have to be locked down, but also realize that there's a reciprocity when it comes state to state, where if they wanted to go from Houston or wanted to go from where you're from to Atlanta or go to another part of Georgia, we're in Texas, and we can go from Dallas to Houston, and it wouldn't be a problem.
All right, questions from my panel. Scott, you don't have a use of a barber, but go ahead.
I was about to say the same thing about you, Roland. I think I've got more hair than you, and I'm more handsome than you. But let me get to my question.
I can guarantee you do not have more hair than me.
I just don't have a process. I don't straighten my hair. It's just natural.
You don't have. Hold up. You don't have. You ain't got more hair on top of your head and on your face. You better ask your question. Don't get embarrassed.
Hey, brother and sister, let me ask you this. As entrepreneurs, I'm sure this is super helpful. What's the customer's response to this app and to your clients who use this app?
Yeah, no, they absolutely love it. Like you said, the response has been amazing. We first started off just catering to hairstylists and barbers, and immediately once estheticians heard about ShearShare, once makeup artists heard about ShearShare, then we had to add a space for microblading artists and braiders because they all heard about ShearShare. They said, well, why are you leaving this particular licensed specialty out? I want to also be able to take advantage of being able to pay for space to work when and where I need it. And so the response has been amazing. Right. I mean, there's no way that we could have grown to over 800 cities now if the demand wasn't there.
Oh, thank you.
Monique.
Come on, pump it up. How do we find you? Tell me every place you are. What's the website? What's the Instagram? It's fantastic. Well, congratulations.
Thank you so much. I always say, Monique, that I hitched my cart to the right horse, and the horse being my husband here. So you can find us online at ShearShare.com. The app is free to download on both iOS and Android. It's also available for iPad users out there. And then we're ShearShare everywhere else, on Instagram, on Twitter, even on TikTok.
Okay, but I have a follow-up question, because I think that many people get the opportunity to come. Thankfully, Roland cares enough about Black business and tech to make these kinds of things available. But you guys are ready for this opportunity tonight. And so I want to call that out too for people who are watching to pay attention, because when you have an opportunity to sell your business, this is what it should look like and sound like. And it seems like you've put time into presentation of your product and of yourselves. If you're willing to just maybe for the up and coming entrepreneurs, share a little bit about what that process is, because you on all cylinders. You're doing it right. You're doing it the right way.
Well, I'll say this, and I'll let my husband close it up for us. But I always like to think of our marriage as our very first startup. And I like to say that this was like the merger of all mergers. And our son, I would call him our second startup. And now that he is a second-year cadet and football player at the Air Force Academy, he's been acquired. So we've seen success there. And so ShearShare is our third startup. And so if we're going to bet on anyone, we're always going to bet on ourselves.
And I'll follow up with that by saying, anytime you're wearing this outfit of melanin, you always have to show up right. I think that when we walk into investors' offices, this is the outfit we're always wearing, our colors. So we have to make sure that we're doing our very best. And, believe it or not, we bootstrapped our company before we actually, had someone to build it out for us. So we know what work goes involved in it. And plus, I'm an entrepreneur for over 20 years. So there's a lot of work that has to be done. And we don't mind, leading the charge. But at the end of the day, we are intentional about what we do. And we try to make sure that if we're going to be doing it, we're going to do it right.
Congratulations.
Well,
you're doing it well.
How many people we've had. I can't tell how many people we've had with a Tech Talk segment got bad Wi-Fi. I'm like, it's a Tech Talk segment. Robert.
Hey, Roland, I got to say this, Roland. I got to say this before I go. You know, I had a chance to meet you in New York. Got a chance to take a picture with you. But my spiritual father told me to tell you that you are a civil rights leader and voice and advocate of our time, and he is constantly praying for you. So thank you for this opportunity.
I appreciate it. Rob Patillo, get your question in real quick. Monique took up too much of your time.
Yeah,
I got one nerdy question. So I meet a lot of entrepreneurs who get scared on the tech side of things when it comes to developing apps, developing those types of gateways. Can you talk a little bit about the process of actually the technological side of developing an app and how you actually did that very quickly, though?
So here's the crazy part, right? So neither one of us are technical co-founders. Tye is clearly the subject matter expert, having earned his doctorate degree in professional barbering and cosmetology, running an award-winning salon for almost 30 years, being the author of a #1 best-selling book on how to be successful in the beauty and style industry. My background happens to be in corporate America. I spent over 20 years in B2B technology marketing and used to work at Oracle. I ran Oracle's digital strategy and innovations group worldwide and had P&L across 5 continents. Now, I say all that to say that I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that we are the best combination to execute in this billion-dollar market. We started off by doing this thing manually. We had stylists who called us up and said, hey, this is my budget. This is what I'm looking for. This is the city and part of the nation traveling. Can you help? I heard about you guys from a peer stylist down the street, and so I really need your help. And so we were manually matching stylists to empty salon space for 3 years before we finally looked up and said, there's got to be an app for this. There's an app for everything else. And when we looked online, we couldn't find it. And that was the aha moment for us, where we said, we have to be able to give this back to the industry that has fed our family for more than 30 years. And so here we are. But we honestly started by just asking questions. We asked lots of people, lots of questions who were in tech, who had built apps before, and finally found our way into ShearShare.com. Yeah. And we do like to thank our very first advisor, TD Lowe. She was the very first person out in Silicon Valley that we phoned up and said, hey, we've been doing this thing, this kind of manual thing for like 3 years. Can you help us out? And thankfully, after learning a little bit more about her, she cannot walk from her car to the grocery store without getting pitched a new startup idea. And so thank God we called the right person, and she has been there every step of the way.
All right, then. What city are y'all in?
McKinney, Texas, north of Dallas.
Okay. All right, then. Well, look, we certainly appreciate it. Thank you so very much. Good luck with the app, and glad to have you on Roland Martin Unfiltered and the Black Star Network.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
It's time to be smart.
Roland Martin's doing this every day.
Oh, no punches!
Thank you, Roland Martin, for always giving voice to the issues.
Look for Roland Martin in the whirlwind, to quote Marcus Garvey again.
The video looks phenomenal, so I'm really excited to see it on my big screen.
Support this man, Black Media. He makes sure that our stories are told.
See, this difference between Black Star Network and Black-owned media and something like CNN.
I got to defer to the brilliance of Dr. Carr and to the brilliance of the Black Star Network.
I am rolling with Roland all the way. Honored to be on a show that you own. A black man owns the show.
Folks, Black Star Network is here.
I'm real revolutionary right now. Like, wow, Roland was amazing on there.
Stay black. I love y'all.
I can't commend you enough about this platform that you've created for us to be able to share who we are, what we're doing in the world, and the impact that we're having.
Let's be smart. Bring your eyeballs home.
You can't be Black-owned media and be scared. You dig?